So there has been attacks towards U.S. military here within the last 24 hours or so. Several on U.S. military ships and U.S. military bases in, or maybe I should say, around the area of Israel in several different areas. Let me show you this video here. And we have a brigadier general describing the situation here. Take a look at this and this map that'll show you and describe the situation. This is exactly the type of stuff that starts a world war type of situation, brings the U.S. into this situation even more so, and starts the war more so on two fronts. Take a look here. Also, the US does a nuclear test this week, and it might make it able so that Russia can do a nuclear test in result of this. I'll give you the details in this video.
Navy warships, U.S. Navy warships operating in the Middle East had to counter multiple projectiles fired on the coast of Yemen yesterday. And then you couple that with what the Pentagon says are drone attack attempts in Iraq, and where U.S. officials are in Iraq and Syria.
Yeah, a couple things that happened yesterday. The drone attack out off the coast of the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden down here against the USS Carney drew a lot of attention. Integrated air defense from that ship shot the drones and the missiles down that were coming out of Yemen. That's important, but the range from there to Israel is pretty far, and they don't have a great missile force, let's put it that way. But the other things that were occurring would be a normal day in some countries, like the drone attack at Al Tanf in Syria. That is a U.S. military base in that particular region. It's been there for a while. Other drone attacks, Al-Assad Air Force Base, I've been out there many times in Iraq, Erbil, Baghdad, and in the southern part of Iraq, just tells me that the popular mobilization fronts, the Iranian-backed rebels, are actually targeting those kinds of locations just as harassment attacks. There was also 2 Israeli citizens killed in Egypt, which just shows that there's a swell of a ground movement that is a result of some of the things that have been going on there. And all of these Arab Street does not want Israel to go into Gaza.
I'll just take a step back to what your point has been. And I think it's very valuable to note that these bases, these U.S. bases, are often harassed or often subject to drone attacks or rocket attacks. All of it happening on the same day, the president gives an Oval Office address as Israel is preparing for what looks like a ground incursion. Different proxies from Iran, but does that tell you something?
Yeah, it's a call for harassment. It's a call for attacks. It is a jihad. They are receiving information from Iran saying, let's up the ante a little bit and show our displeasure at what's going on in Israel.
Moments ago, a large group of people were seen rallying for the opening of the Rafah crossing on the Egypt border. You can see this. This is right outside that border. A few miles around that crossing. There's craters in front of it. We understand about 20 trucks. Some of those drivers have told us they actually saw the Egyptian moving concrete as if there was maybe the possibility of it opening. But subsequently, CNN has learned that the Rafah crossing will not open today, as had been anticipated. But that sense of on the ground and that terrain, that desert, gives you some perspective on where we stand right now. Just moments ago, we did hear from the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, who is at the Rafah border crossing on the Egyptian side. So he is there. You've got a UN compound on the other side where we know people are better supplied than most places, but still with dwindling supplies. And of course, he's standing where all those trucks loaded with aid are waiting to enter.
Behind these walls, we have 2 million people that is suffering enormously. So these trucks are not just trucks. They are a lifeline. They are the difference between life and death for so many people in Gaza. What we need is to make them move to the other side of this wall, to make them move as quickly as possible.
We do have news that 2 American hostages were released from Gaza here today, and a mother and her daughter on humanitarian grounds following Qatari mediation efforts. Quote, in response to these efforts, the brigades released 2 American citizens, a mother and her daughter, for humanitarian reasons and to prove to the American people and the world that the claims made by Biden and his fascist administrations are false and baseless. So 2 hostages have been released. Even though we have 32 Americans that have been killed and over 1,400 Israelis and well over 1,000 Palestinians from the other side already in this brutal war. Okay, so the U.S. conducts a nuclear test in Nevada hours after Russia's move to revoke a global test ban. That's right. Here is the details of this. You can't make this stuff up. I know. You can say it with me. Comment down below. Here's the details. The U.S. conducted a high explosive experiment at a nuclear test site in Nevada hours after Russia revoked a ban on atomic weapons testing, which Moscow said would put it on par with the United States. Wednesday's test used chemicals and radioisotopes to validate, quote, new predictive explosion models that can help detect atomic blasts in other countries, Bloomberg reported, citing the Department of Energy. They also have a picture here of the tunnel in which they did these blasts, apparently. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on this. Is this a good thing that we're testing these, or is this a very grave thing? Yeah. Quote, these experiments advance our efforts to develop new technology in support of U.S. nuclear non-proliferation goals, said Corey Hinderstein, Deputy Administrator for Defense Nuclear Non-Proliferation at the National Nuclear Security Administration, said in a statement. Quote, they will help reduce global nuclear threats by improving the detection of underground nuclear explosive tests. This comes as Putin was spotted in China with a nuclear briefcase in rare footage. Yeah. As you can see here, Vladimir Putin walking in China and the nuclear briefcase coming right afterwards. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section. Him taking it all the way to China with him, just in case. This nuclear test is notable because of its timing. Russian lawmakers announced their intention to revoke the ratification of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. A bill will go to the Russian upper house, the Federation Council, which will consider it next week. Federation Council lawmakers have already said they will support the bill. The treaty, adopted in 1996, bans all nuclear explosions anywhere in the world, although it has never fully entered in force. In addition to the US, it is yet to be ratified by China, India, Pakistan, North Korea, Israel, Iran, and Egypt. American officials have said more transparency is needed because while the US and Russia don't test warheads, they do conduct so-called subcritical experiments, explosions that verify weapons designs without the amount of atomic material needed to sustain a chain reaction, the Bloomberg report said. There are widespread reports, concerns that Russia could resume nuclear tests to try to discourage the West in continued support of Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin said that while some experts talked about the need to conduct nuclear tests, he hasn't yet formed an opinion on the issue. So let me know your thoughts here. I'll keep you up to date. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below, click the bell icon, and don't forget to like and share these videos. It also helps our YouTube channel grow. Click here to see my new video on North Korea infiltrating the US and mask mandates are back, or click here to see my newest video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.